This is a review from yesterday. Can anybody tell me raise your hand, what do we do first on this problem? Sam?
So first you get rid of the exponents outside of the...
Okay, exponents first. It's kind of like distributive property. Everything gets squared and cubed.
So
What is 3? Shh.
3 times 3 is 9. And then 2 times 3 is 6. So
Okay, this is a multiply situation. 3 times 2, x to the 6.
and then y times 2 is y to...
Okay, girls, I don't want to be able to hear you right now. If you ask a question, you'd be
Okay.
so quiet I can't hear it.
And then 4 times 4 times 4 is a big number.
Okay, 64. 4 to the third is 64.
Yes.
X to the
So it's x 12.
y to
and y
the.
6.
Okay, then at this point, so we did exponents first. Now we are multiplying these two terms together.
Calculator.
So the rules are going to change. 9 times 64 would be 540 plus 36, 576.
Yes.
Okay, and then we're doing x to the 6 times x to the 12.
X 18.
Okay, right. So we switch to adding. Up here, this is a multiply situation. X times x, this is adding.
Oh, Mrs. Conrad.
And then y 8.
Okay, y 8, right.
Why is it 8?
Yeah. Alright, that's what we did yesterday. So that's going to help us with today. Today is division instead of multiplication, so we're on number 1.
So that's instead of adding the exponents, do we subtract the exponents?
Page 336. 1 through 30. These are going to go quick. Are we actually going to make it? Yes, we're going to make it today. I probably put 32 on there. Okay, let's go around. Does anybody want to volunteer to start besides Sam?
What's wrong with Sam?
Because we're going to go around the horn. So if you get number 1, you might get an easier one.
What? Please.
Okay, Trey.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
1 through 30.
What page? Yes.
Page 336.
1 through what?
Shh. 30.
Okay.
Trey, number 1.
Right.
18 divided by 2 is 9.
Oh,
Okay.
so it's 6.
X to the 7th divided by x squared is...
X.
Right. Yesterday we multiplied and added the exponents. Today we are subtracting, or we're dividing where you subtract the exponents. Okay. In the notes up above it says leave answers in positive exponential form. That means we're going to get some negative exponents. And negative exponents just means you flip the exponent. It just means you flip it. We'll talk about it in a second. Okay, number 3, Leo. Does negative 12 divided by 16? It doesn't go into it, but what can we do with that?
We can reduce
Reduce it. If we divide by 4, what does that reduce to?
3/4.
Negative 3/4. So that's what we're going to do with the normal numbers.
What about the exponent?
And then we're going to do the letters. So it's a cubed divided by a squared. What would that be, Leo?
3/2.
A cubed divided by a squared. What does that simplify to? Okay, when you divide the letters, you subtract the exponents. Where's Carter?
Hey, God.
So just A.
It's just a. It's a to the 1, which is just a. And then what's b to the 6th divided by b? Okay, if it's just a b on the bottom, that means it's 1. So it's 6 minus 1.
It's 5.
It'll be 5. Okay,
He's a little slow.
number 5.
What about turning it into a positive?
It already is positive.
And you only do
The exponents are supposed to be positive.
Oh.
Okay, on number 5, the exponent is not positive, but a z to the negative 2 on the bottom is the same as a z to the positive 2 on the top. That's what negative exponents do. They flip it around.
Oh.
So z to the negative 2 on the bottom is the same as z squared, positive 2, on the top.
What if it, what if?
So you don't have to put z squared over 1 though, because that's just z squared.
Oh, so it's just.
Mr. Jordan.
So it's just z squared.
Mr. Jordan.
Yeah.
What if there was a negative 2 on the top of, like, over 2 or something?
Okay, if it was negative 2 on the top, what would it be?
Just 1 over 0.
1 over z squared.
Okay. Good job.
You just flip it to the other side. Z, if I just say z, that's automatically on the top, because that's like z over 1, right? So if it just says z, that means it's on the top right now. So that's like on the top. Number 7, the numerator is what they call it. Number 7, this is kind of a trick question. Is the 2 to the negative third power?
No.
No, just the x.
So it's
So x to the negative third on the top is the same as,
2 under, wait, 2 over.
okay, x to the negative third on the top is the same thing as
On the bottom,
x to the third on the bottom. What about that 2? It doesn't move, so it's still up there. So it's 2 over x cubed.
So far, this is actually kind of easy.
Don't bite your tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to do it on your own, and then we'll see.
I've
what
done
it's
it.
like.
Created a problem.
So on 8, would it just be y over x then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Number 9. Okay, let's go back to the terms again. Will,
Would you just put x to the third on top and x to the 2 on the bottom?
yes. But this actually still simplifies, right?
Yeah, because then you can subtract the 2 from 3, which
Right.
gives you just x.
3 minus 2 is 1, so x to 1 or just x.
What if we forget to do that second part? Will you take a half off or something?
Probably just be wrong.
Mm.
10,
Yeah.
alright.
What about 12?
10 is a negative divided by negative. What's a negative divided by
It was
negative?
in 12 for me.
Positive, so you can kind of forget those negatives. Z to the negative third on the bottom is like what?
Oh, z third over
So-
z2.
So it's
Oh, so
z
it's just
squared
y.
times z to the third, which is,
Just z1. Or not z1.
they're both on top, so they're multiplied together.
Z to the fifth?
Z to the fifth.
What
Okay.
about
That's
12?
number 10, right?
Number 11, Britain. How many A's?
What about Gracie?
Britain, how many A's do we have on top?
6.
How many we got on the bottom?
5.
No,
6.
Oh, 6.
6.
What are you?
So
So
what's
it's
a
just-
to the 6 divided by a to the 6?
One.
No,
Not 0.
no,
One.
1.
1. Anything divided by itself. Well, if you subtract the exponents, what would you get? A to the 0.
Yeah.
Anything to the 0 power is always equal to 1. Because what happens when you divide a number by itself? Like what's a million divided by a million? 1. A6 divided by A6 is 1. Okay, on 13. Looks kind of like yesterday's, right?
It's not.
What's 12?
Gracie,
Yeah.
you weren't here yesterday. Do you know how to do 13?
No clue.
Okay, sorry, she said it.
Would you just put 2 and negative 5 together?
No. The one's an X, one's a Y.
Oh,
They
do
don't
you
go
do
together.
that 3 thing where you put them all together? Or no?
It's kind of like distributive property. You're going to cube
Everything's huge.
both of them. So this would be like a multiply problem. Boys, you should probably pay attention. It's not that easy. Alright, since Gracie wasn't here, we'll go on to the next. Should we go to the back? Alright, Katie.
So, could it be x to the 6 and y to the negative 15?
Yes. Whoops. X to the 6, y to the negative 15. But in the directions, the rules were no negative exponents. So Katie, how do we fix that?
So you would have x to the 6
Oh,
on top,
Carter wants in.
and then y to the 15.
Canada. Canada in my Canada.
Okay. Yes. So you just move y to the 15 to the bottom. That's all we
Well,
all
can
we
you
do.
please tell me on the phone? Long enough for me.
Okay, number 15. Ava. What do you think?
Would it be x to the third and y to the third?
Yeah. X to the third over y to the third. Can we do anything to that? No. So that was kind of, looked like it might be hard, but it wasn't. 16 looks very similar. What's going to be the difference on 16?
It's a negative.
So what
you have to
happens?
switch them.
So you have to flip it upside down.
Yeah.
Same answer, upside down. 17. Simplify, leaving all variables in the numerator. In other words, everything's going to be on top. If it's a negative exponent, we're going to leave it alone. Okay, everything's on top. If it's a negative exponent, we're not going to flip it. We're just going to leave it where it is. Okay, Lydia, 16 divided by 2. On number 17. 8. And then x to the 6. You could rewrite this with the division bar if you wanted to, but what's x to the 6 divided by x? X to the 5th. And what is y to the negative 4th? I'm going to write this off to the side. Divided by y to the 5th. Okay, what have we been doing with the exponents? Subtracting, right?
Yes.
So what's negative 4? This will go to Lydia again. What's negative 4 minus 5? Negative 9.
So,
Okay, on this section though, we're not going to flip it because the directions told us. So that is the final answer.
agreed.
We're not.
Same as-
Right, we're going to leave it like that.
Because the directions told us to.
We're going to follow directions on this part. All right, number 19. Okay, does 4 divide by 20?
Yes. 0.2.
No, not well. So what did we do on number, what was it, 3, when it didn't divide?
Reduce?
We just reduced it, didn't we? So,
1 and
1/5?
right, divide by 4, that's 1, and that's 5. So it'll just be 1/5 something. What is A6 divided by A6?
0.
1?
Well,
What if
it's
it's
A to the 0, which is 1. But 1 times everything else, it just kind of disappears. It just goes away. When it turns into a 1 and it's multiplied to a bunch of other stuff, it just disappears. B to the negative 7 divided... Okay, this will probably confuse us. B to the negative 7 divided by B squared. So it's negative 7. Jasmine, what do you think? Negative 7 minus 2. Do you know what that would be? No, wrong way. It goes down even farther. So if you lose 7 and you lose 2 more, how many have you lost? 9. Okay. And then it's C2 divided by C7. So what's 2 minus 7? Negative 5.
We did it.
Yeah, that's the end of that one, isn't it? Okay, Emily. Looks like 10 divided by negative 2. Negative 5. And then, okay, this one's a little trickier because I only see one A and it's on the bottom. But we're supposed to move everything to the numerator. So, Emily, if it's A negative 2 on the bottom, what is it on the top? Right. So, A squared. And then I see a couple B's. So we got B negative 2 divided by B 3. So it's negative 2 minus 3. Negative 5. And then, what's the last? C4's got nobody to join up with, so we're gonna, and he's already on top, so we're gonna leave him alone.
Wait, so if there's...
C4 got nerfed in the most recent
Hmm?
patch.
So on the A,
Yeah.
it was... on
It
the
was
top-
negative 2 on the bottom, but we're supposed to have it in the numerator in this section, so
Okay.
we moved
Used to be
it.
able to
I
throw,
understand.
used to be able to throw it a lot further. And we won't have to stick to anything good.
C4, yeah.
Now it got nerfed.
Okay, 23, Jaden. Let's see, what do we got? Okay, we're back to the kind of directions on 1 through 16. If we get a negative exponent, we're supposed to flip it to the other side. Positive exponents only. Does negative 6 divided by 7, does that divide or reduce at all? It does not. So you can write like negative 6/7 in front. They actually wrote negative 6 and 7 like that, and then put the other letters out here. It doesn't matter. It's the same. So the 6 and 7 don't do anything, basically. Okay, Jaden, x to the 5th divided by x squared.
X to the third.
Yes. Okay. If it's positive, it's going to be on top, basically. So, and then y squared divided by y squared.
Just y. Oh wait.
Anything divided by itself is 1. And 1 times all this other stuff just disappears. It doesn't do anything. So it goes away. Y squareds go away, and then z3 divided by z2. Z. So I guess there was nothing else on the bottom on this one.
So it's all wrong.
7's 11. Okay. Car, you've been gone, but we'll see if you can if you picked it up yet. But this is Marianne's. Marianne, number 25. Uh-oh. Okay, I see one normal negative, not the negative in the exponent. Is the whole thing going to be positive or negative? I see one normal negative, not counting the exponents. So if you have a negative divided by a positive, what's the final answer going to be? Negative. It doesn't really matter where you put the negative. The book's probably going to put it right in front of the fraction bar like that. But as long as the negative is somewhere, it's technically correct. All right. That's my place. Where was I? 25. Okay, so we got 3 to the negative 1 over 3 to the negative 1.
So just.
It's negative 3 to negative.
Negative 3.
I already handled the negative. It's right there. So I'm done with the negative. Okay, Marianne, what do you think?
I don't know. 2.
Well, what anything divided by itself is what? 1.
So it disappears.
Another way to think of this is it's negative 1 minus negative 1, which is 0, and 3 to the 0 is 1. So it just cancels out.
Negative 1.
Okay, I'm not going to put the 1 down. Why am I not going to put the 1 down?
Because it wouldn't make a difference in the problem.
Because 1 times, if that was the only thing in the problem, that would be the answer, but there's a lot of other stuff it multiplies into. Okay, 25. So, Marianne, I see a divided by a to the negative 5th. So basically that's a 1 minus negative 5.
Negative 6.
No?
Oh, it has to be
Positive 4.
No?
positive 6.
Yeah, that's a 1 plus 5, right? 1 minus negative 5 is positive 6. So that's an a to the 6 is positive, so it's going on top.
It's negative 1.
It just says a. It just says a on top.
Oh,
1.
okay, I was putting, yeah, negative 1. Okay.
Okay, then Marianne, I see b to the negative 4 divided by b to the 7. So this is negative 4 minus 7. Negative 11. So no negatives on this one, so what do I do with b to the negative 11? Put it on the bottom as a positive. When you move it to the bottom, it's positive. Okay. And then I see last one, c2 divided by c negative 3.
B, alright. Oh, C.
5. Kind of hard, isn't it? A little bit,
Yeah.
but not.
I prefer this
This is very similar to yesterday,
But better.
but better. Alright,
Life is good.
27, two more.
Astro.
Carter. Okay, 27 looks a little bit different, doesn't it? We're not doing a divided by 8. Both of the, when you multiply fractions, you guys remember you just do the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom, right? When you're multiplying two different fractions. So really the top just needs multiplied together and the bottoms get multiplied together. So Carter, this is like yesterday. What is a times a to the negative fourth? I'm looking on the top right now. When you multiply a's together, what do you do with the exponents? Add them, right? What's 1 plus negative 4? Negative 3. So that would be the a. So I know it's a negative exponent. We'll fix it later. And I see a b to the negative 2 on top, so I'm going to leave that there for now. And then on the bottom I see a normal 2, and also see a b times b to the negative 3. So we're multiplying now, not dividing. So it's 1 plus negative 3, it's negative 2. Okay, I got some problems here. First of all, I have negative exponents. Also, I have b's on top and bottom. Those can simplify. What's b to the negative 2 divided by b to the negative 2?
Get rid of the b.
Cancels out.
So it's just 2 over a.
Okay,
Yeah, 2 over A3.
not quite. You're close. 2 is 2 going to go to the top? No.
So is it
There's-
just 2 A3?
Well, A3 goes to the bottom, so what's left on the top? 1. So it's 1 over 2A3. If there's nothing up there, it's a 1. It's kind of like if there's nothing below the fraction, there's a 1. Or if there's nothing on the bottom, it's like a 1.
That actually kind of makes sense.
Wait.
That actually kind of makes sense.
29. What do you know?
Hey.
There.
I'm gonna throw it up.
Let's go, Leo, 29.
Okay, since everybody did 1, this will be a freebie. Does anybody want to try 29?
Sam
Cool.
does.
Sam wants to try.
Okay, Leah.
Conrad.
Oh my.
What do you think comes first?
The top one.
Well, this one has parentheses and a negative 2 on the outside, so what should we do with that?
You should set it in.
Yeah, is it like a multiply or add thing?
Multiply.
Multiply, yes. When the exponent's on the parentheses, you multiply the exponents, right?
Right.
So, Lydia, it would be x to the what then on top there?
Negative 2.
Well, it's x squared to the negative 2. Here, I'll write it down. So it's x squared to the negative 2 would be what?
Negative 4.
We'll fix that later. And then y on top here. You could simplify this first, by the way. I'm gonna just do the like distributed thing. Y to the what? Right there, Lydia. Negative 6. And on the bottom, everybody gets it. This is on the parentheses, so everybody gets it.
Yeah.
So y to the.
Negative
Okay. Now let's fix this a little bit.
Switch it.
Let's do the y's. How do I do the y's?
2.
Add 2. So
Neg.
Or negative 1.
Yeah, you're right. It's negative 6 minus negative 2. It's kind of confusing because all the minus and stuff.
Plus.
So it's negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4, so you Will and Emily are right. So it's y to the negative 4, and x was already to the negative 4. But we're not supposed to have any negatives,
So you need to put it on bottom and.
so they both go to the bottom.
That's the instructions.
There it is.
We did
The
it.
instructions are on writing.
We obey those instructions.
Put the corrections there.
So don't forget when you're jumping from the first section to the second section to the third section. The first and third section have the same instructions, and 17 through 22 is you can leave the negative exponents alone. Everything's supposed to go on top.
Don't like the last section. That one.
Well, yeah, it gets harder as you go. The B section is supposed to be the hard section.
It is?
Well, and then C, we never get to C though. Can make C a bonus question.
Never get to see them.
No,
Don't.
Well, no bad puns in this question.
You can only do it in.
Too late.
You can only do it
There's
in
not even any happiness in this classroom.
He said that. He enjoys what?
Do you have a question?
Will's joke? Yeah, what if,
Last year he said he had a dentist appointment and I said, well.
Well, anything to the 0 power is just 1, so they just cancel out. They just go away.
so does the B go away?
And last year
Where are
when
you looking
we
at?
went over the baking with in history class, I said the pig swap back.
No, you do -2 minus 2,
I thought mine was.
which is not 0.
Look, what was your one?
Because it has bar.
Do not copy this time.
Close the book.
Do not
I
copy.
slowly said it.
Close the book, man.
I need to be able to look at it.
No, you don't.
And Trey was like, slowly looked over. Trey was like, what? And then I was like, because it has bars. And Trey was like, shut up, man.
Yeah, we're gonna find it.
This paper just given that one.
Hey, did you hear about the big frying down at the shoe factory?
Congrats.
You graded the test.
What am I supposed to do?
Oh wait, I already looked at
Did you hear about the people that got offended?
That-
It was kind of a big
Yeah, that's
deal.
your test.
Oh,
Hey,
Ew.
and about number 4. Did you hear about that? Did you hear about the big test? So do I just switch
It was
to
kind
1
of a
to
big
5?
deal.
Yeah, that same
All that alone.
I didn't actually.
Kind of a big deal.
What's his name?
why did the train cross?
That's the
Why did you go cross the road?
To get to the other side. Oh yeah, that.
Nobody knows it got ran over.
Now that's just.
I have a problem here.
How many negative, like normal negatives do we have on
Is this
top?
12 to make the 8?
Well, there's negative J, there's negative K, and there's the negative
Or
2.
sorry, 7.
Well, okay.
Well,
Squared means this times itself, right? So really the top has 3 negatives. Okay, when you multiply 3 negatives, are you gonna get positive or negative?
negative.
What do you want?
So the whole thing,
Whole top is negative.
the whole fraction is negative. The top's negative and the bottom's positive. It's just
I
negative.
got 3 over 2
So you got 3 negatives, the whole thing's negative. So just put a negative,
with an
or
exponent of 4.
you can put it in front of the fraction bar or something.
Because it's y5 minus y1.
And then now you can kind of forget about these negatives. You can't forget about the negatives.
Because then you have to.
Carter,
I can put 1.
are you having fun?
But this is
Okay, Sam, I
k to the negative 2
Yeah.
divided by k. So it's like negative 2
So negative 3
So it'll
on
be-
the bottom.
so it'll be k3 on the bottom. And then the j's is 1 minus 2.
You will try.
So it'll be j1 on the bottom. Or just
So
j.
J1K3.
No, it was, yeah, sorry, it was here. So j was,
And also,
And then just like the one on top.
yeah, there's nothing like that.
I have another question about.
Well, raise your hand. My hand is raised first.
you see,
Hey,
I
did you
don't,
hear about
I,
the
so
big-
I didn't do that. I
Did you
don't.
hear about the big fire at the shoe factory?
No, I just couldn't do it. Makes no
I bet
Okay.
something else started it.
On number 12, how many
Also, I don't know.
how many normal negatives are on the top?
2.
Okay, because that k is being squared, there's actually 3 normal negatives on top. What happens when you do a negative times a negative times a negative?
It's a negative.
It's a negative. So the whole thing,
Yes.
forget about the negative exponents for a second. The whole thing is a negative value.
Yes.
So I would just put a negative in front of the fraction bar just to start. and then I would forget about those normal negatives.
Then what do we do
Oh, you
with the
can do
next
that number
one?
4 too, right?
Okay, I don't know, probably.
Yes.
So after that, you have j divided by j squared and k to the negative 2 divided by k. So that's kind of normal from there. J divided by j2.
J2, K. Well, what about the 12?
Sam, you said this was easy.
Another one, but it's more of a story.
Yeah.
Well, square that.
So two cameras are hopping along.
Oh yeah, I definitely do that, but I didn't really
I'm sure some heel started and then he goes, on the other hand, 200 souls were
I did do
Say
that.
it again.
The negative exponent.
Did you hear about the fire at
Negative
the
exponent
shoe
doesn't
factory?
mean the negative
I
value.
bet some people started it.
and he goes, on another hand, 200 souls were You get it?
I was like, I
solar
thought
army.
it
I know.
What is your dad doing?
Here's another one. Two kangaroos are hopping along, and one says, I hope it doesn't rain today. I hate it when
Also-
kids play inside.
Like negative 2, right? So you got 3
That makes no sense.
They have pouches. Whenever kids play inside, they're playing inside the pouch.
Isn't that likely inside of them?
And
Don't-
that's what I get from
don't.
jokes from comedy shows several years old.
Just wanted to sit
Remember when
inside.
you divide fractions,
No.
you flip the second one,
And then one
so
Sit inside the kingdom.
this problem sets the
And what do
that's on the top. And then you do the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom.
Yeah.
Because they can't actually break ribs.
Can you help me out 14?
I didn't know. So was I.
Okay, on 28, remember when you're dividing fractions, you flip the second fraction and then
I
multiply?
got Z5.
So
Oh, yeah.
you flip this upside down, and it's like 27, like you do the top times the top, after you flip it, and bottom times the bottom.
14.
Okay. Distribute, like multiply both of those by negative.
Oh, okay. I might have
Negative exponent, that's on the bottom.
So would it be y over 4 or x over 6?
Why'd you give me that candy?
Would it be that?
Would be nice.
Would it be that?
No,
Yes.
Oh, would it be that?
thank you.
Accept it. I gave some to Mrs. Conrad as well.
Did she give that to you too?
Well, no. Thank you, because she's nice.
Oh. That's, yeah.
Okay, so I switched them. So, would I be able to cross out the two x's with the x, and then would I just basically...
So really, this is all, like, these get hooked up, so this is all one thing.
Thanks for trying.
So if you're doing D divided by D and all things, so
I appreciate it.
So subtract 2 from 1 and then
I knew you did.
and in this section, we're supposed to do that. Well, D.
Why do you care? Part of the paper ending.
So it
Naturally happens to
Make
me.
it be possible in the all, so it's just D, there's just a D on it. Y3 above it. Okay, that's just a normal Y filter up on top.
Okay, when the A's and C's are...
But they're by themselves. So just keep A on top and C on bottom.
I actually thought Old Town Road was a good song to tell Trace over
You know,
singing it.
anything with these?
thought it said dad is mad.
I thought it was a good song, so my grandma liked it.
It was.
Oh yeah.
No, you told me dad is mad.
No, I like that
No,
song.
but dad is mad. And then you're like, no, it's not.
I never really.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. So you're like, it's dad. You're pretty gay. She's actually like the song.
So then it's just like all the other ones. So what goes on to X2, CX2? Switch this one. On the side. Okay, so it's
Oh, I ran on 10.
on the top.
You can, yeah, it is 16.
And then on the bottom.
You reduce 36 over 24. And then that one's
What did you multiply and add?
but we want to
God, what did you multiply and add? I don't know.
when you divide y by y, you subtract your exponents.
That's
This does not have
Just making up rhymes.
Yes.
Same thing over here, we're running a tractor.
You try so hard to be mean and you just smile.
Slow rhymes.
Like, you can be actually mean if you just like say, if you don't say, just kidding, shut up.
Hey, why was
R5
why was
Negative A to the 12. Yeah.
No.
Okay, so
Yeah, why
what
was-
is 50 if you
why was 6
multiply
and 7? 7 and 8
no.
because 7 was first and 6 was third.
Alright, Rich. Say it again. I did.
Why was 6 37? Because 7 was first.
Oh, that one's good. No. Alright, you guys have to understand Star Trek. Alright, what is toilet paper and people in Star Trek?
Klingons.
That's the keeper Klingons.
Okay.
Oh.
We have negative exponents.
Remember.
Pronounce
Or so,
Okay,
so
sure.
this is the fifth on the bottom of that. Over the fifth.
Mr. Jordan never helped me. Never finished helping me with that problem. But, you know.
which one?
So the y is the top, y.
Wait, 8.
Since they think of her power, you don't have to write that.
Trace that like dictate me also like trying to tell me something. Like before I was gonna be like, thanks man.
I just said it's less than I thought.
I used to be like trying to help you with something. Or like before I got ready to understand because Jordan explaining it. Yes, that's what you do. Thanks man. What you got for you? Well, I got one K2 and I know that.
And I like left with like a puddle of sweet tea, validate.
Probably. So, say that again.
No.
Do it!
So there's two negatives, they cancel, so negative times negative is positive, but then there's a third negative. So it cancels the whole thing, so negative. So make a fraction bar with a negative in front, like this. A fraction bar with a negative. Okay, so, see here the J, so it's like J. Okay, on this section, if you go negative, we check, put it on the other side. So
Did you get on 13 languages?
J down on the bottom.
Bible.
So if it's one, then
Hey. 13.
That's right.
so in the case, we have -2.
Did I ask? That's pretty silly.
That was a Corey thing.
That's a negative.
Hey, can you say what's
Which
up?
means it's eight to three.
I knew exactly where I was going.
Why?
I'm gonna give you a dash there.
I knew exactly where I was
I
going.
don't know what round you did. Right. Did I
When you have an exponent.
It's super famous and I quote it crazy. You're like,
Did I ask? Corey would be all the comments. Corey.
Hate comments. So I thought it was YouTube kid, right? So she got a hate comment. And she's like, is this right? And then he said yes. And then the comment was like, you know, like the little guy, like a person there.
Yeah.
So I didn't your name. I speak to them from hey, they're on blue. What do you want?
So that's positive 3, so this is right
My e-girl bathwater.
Yeah, x -6 on top of it. 16. Okay.
Oh my gosh, you can try to do this too. Oh my gosh. Is it raised with
So
X-ray?
both need to be flipped.
What else is wrong?
So why does it flip?
I'm
X
writing
to the
No, I've been
third
asking
and
for
the
every
right.
single question.
Sorry.
You're like, yeah. Fix it quick.
They're both
Okay.
to the third. Yes.
Girl, had like, we have
Yes.
Flip it.
Yeah.
Check.
I should do that on this one. Be like, it's when you did it. Yes.
Great. Eighth grade, you got it 5.
Well, it's technically not pond physics.
Yeah.
Because it's not 610.
They're supposed to be like waving.
imagine Mr. Jordan wanted us to leave a paper tape.
It doesn't take a stretch of the imagination.
Okay. Can you close the door?
Will,
What?
just kick it.
He got wrong
He's
enough.
showing off his ninja skills.
That's Aiden's thing. Yeah.
Although he is definitely not a karate master.
First part of 15.
Is that what Aiden
And
said?
it's second 12.
He calls himself a karate master, yet whenever he stole my umbrella, I put him in an arm lock in less than 5 seconds.
Will and Art. Yeah, they always try to fight Will. And then Will chased Aiden. And then Aiden was running around the whole
I was just walking after him like this.
I know with those long enough legs like running.
Yeah, he is a little.
Okay, 18.
Yeah, he's pretty short.
Let's not say short, let's just say vertically challenged.
Wow. Getting.
Yeah. If you look at it a certain way, it looks like really, really long.
8 to the third, divided by 8 to the fourth, so you're gonna subtract.
What?
What's up here? Subtracting, so it's 3
Well, if he said what I
minus
think he said, then probably shouldn't.
So it's A.
I
So
think it's
-1.
like something
In this section,
similar
we're
to
just
how we
gonna
would
do
use
it.
these
Subtract
expressions.
-1. And then what do we do to these?
I'm just making up stuff.
No.
That's not like Caleb does. I'll say something. He's like, I don't know.
Cause y'all freaking mumble, and I can't hear you.
Put the A.
Same thing.
Well,
I was just trying to guess what she was telling me.
But like the whole, like, how long have we?
You see that 2 down there?
Since kindergarten, we're in 9th grade,
No,
so 10th year.
With kale.
Okay.
Okay, that's much more.
I don't know, but he's been here a while.
I think I was there in kindergarten, about the
I mean, most of everybody here is like an OG because they grew up.
Well, she
Hasn't been here
has.
since.
She always went negative 2x to the fourth or the eighth.
This
Okay.
X
Yeah,
is
that's
also
all the time.
negative
Why
two,
did
so
it
that-
power the third?
I'm trying to
So we
think.
have
Probably
this
did it wrong.
three
How many people from
minus
our
Why
kindergarten
did
class are still
and
here?
save the third.
There's you, there's me.
minus
Wasn't there Justice?
negative two.
And
She
Brianna.
was in the other one.
No,
Ah.
it is positive. Just plug it in. Three
Well-
minus
Donald
negative
left, Nathan left. What's her name left? My other
Brianna.
friend.
When did
X
Brianna
Huh?
go?
Brianna's been here a while.
Oh, she has?
Yeah, she's been a while here.
What's she in kindergarten though?
And, lost my place.
Well, I came here in pre-K, so.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right, you weren't.
Okay.
Wait, were you in our
We
kindergarten?
have y negative
Or were you
five,
not?
and there's
I
nothing
was
to,
in-
mix
Oh,
up. This is
actually,
not y.
Then yes, you were.
So
I
it'll-
was
it'll stay
one of the
y
class I
negative
had.
five.
I went there and I went again because I was not like, let's see nice. Ability enough to go up.
Yeah.
So I stayed. My mom put me way too early. So I wasn't like mentally prepared for it.
Well, remember we've been subtracting, right?
Technically, it's supposed to be 10th grade, but I mean, it's.
But
You know.
Yeah, I think it's because my other school wasn't quite as advanced.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure here it's pretty advanced. Not too advanced.
At my old school, the only we didn't learn literally anything. We just did projects the entire time. Oh, fun things like we painted, we made like these little box aquariums out of shoe
Well, your early
boxes.
time is really it's more of your like social skills.
It's developing the fine motor skills, which is what we did in kindergarten with Mrs. Bell with learning how to write.
Okay.
We weren't learning how to write.
Oh really?
Yeah, like I said, we were just doing projects and I guess technically we were reading. Technically.
So it's put 19.
You're cubing 5.
Would
If I can find a chance, unless they told you.
Okay,
And
same
then you
thing.
cube 2.
See the X's.
I know 25. I wanted it. I know it's 2 and 11.
Two, just like up here,
Look, okay,
two
so-
minus negative two.
So then you do
Can you
5
help me out?
cubed.
She can help me out.
Two.
Oh, I'm too old.
That was your.
Oh, it's on Sunday. Oh, it's the one. Is she,
Okay.
so.
Five, ten.
How many more days until February?
It's January. February comes right after January, right?
January, March.
Z. Negative 1.
3 days, I think.
Well, never mind. There's no Z.
It's the 28th, so.
Okay, in
I
this
think there's
section,
30 days.
if it- if you get a negative X on.
I mean, I can take a calendar, but I don't want to get. Oh, I know. So when I hit February, I got a month and a day.
Well,
Till you're 16?
Z is under.
Until you can drive.
You have a month and a day.
By my
So you
fail.
turn 16?
Till you're 16?
My birthday is March 16th, so I'm going to be able to drive before I'm 16.
Okay, so
Okay, 26.
I'm confused then. So what's the age you can do your driver's license out then?
Well, okay.
15 and 3/4?
Actually, because it's negative
Well,
one,
okay.
two squares.
At 15.
Take it on bottom, so
You can run out.
You're explaining
I
something.
got like. That's start. That's good. I'm sorry.
You're explaining
No,
something
it's
here.
fine.
Correction bar line.
It's fine.
Which I actually kind of need to know that because it plays
Well,
into
it doesn't matter how old you can be 18. The person in my class is 18. You have to wait 6 months.
Ah!
So like, it does not matter. It does not matter how old you are. You
Okay.
have to wait with your permit. You have to get some driving experience. Like you could be.
Maybe not on it.
Yeah, my dad thought that you had to be like a certain age in order to get it.
No, you at 15. At 15 and a half, you can do it. You can be 18. You can be
That's still
and
January.
you are going to wait 6 months and adults.
Okay, that makes sense.
And also, don't try to do it before you're 15 and a half. The computer will not let you do it.
Yeah.
Not do what?
Do not
So,
go to the person for your permit before you're 15 and a half. Because the
Oh,
computer
yeah.
will not
Yeah,
let
you
you go.
told me that.
Because I had to go back because I was before.
That's 4 and
I'm waiting until I'm 16 though to even start.
If it was negative 40, you just put X for them.
Getting yours like immediately is probably the best thing.
Well, my mom wants me to, and I kind of need to considering I'm planning on getting a job when I turn 16. So.
I'm just doing it because it's useful for my mom instead of driving me.
I hope to get it earlier, but insurance rates.
That is true.
Yeah, you're lucky. I'm a boy. Teenage boys have higher insurance rates than girls of the same age.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, actually, I would not get a good car when you don't have your first car because you will wreck.
Yeah, you gotta get it.
I'm using either my parents' car or my sister's car.
Physically, you will wreck.